she'll be here.
Certainly do.
Started.
Okay.
Humorous thing. COVID.
Oh, because of the.
Okay, boss, I've got the live stream going, so.
Okay, we'll be careful.
Sunday school class sometimes.
The place really does.
And not pay attention to.
Oh, it's Thursday.
Other people. I feel them too.
I've never noticed it make me look at them.
One lady was doing her business during Sunday school class, which
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah,
Well, actually.
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, because
It's amazing. And the
Well, I
new
know.
chairs and these new chairs that Dave was teasing me about.
No, because of that. What we were raised to do.
Ron said that I'm looking at the switch plates and outlet covers. He said, I'm gonna get some different ones. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. He said, well, you were gonna tell me to do eventually. You're gonna notice them at some point.
Actually, it has never looked this clean before.
I know, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We were telling the mayor that reminded us of being outside in the snow and the brightness of that. We came in here.
No, I don't. She always change. You know, like.
Yeah. Well, and hey, there he is. Thanks for coming. We're a full service city. I thought about calling you and asking you to come, so I'm glad you came. It's good. See this through to its conclusion.
When does it start happening?
Oops.
Well,
Tax.
It's, I'll tell you when we talked, August of 2023.
It's the occupations.
We've been, and then what happened was
In Lexington.
I let it percolate for about 8 months till I finally realized you were right that we're not going to be able to patch this.
next time I heard.
Like one of the few jurisdictions where they
I
don't.
could go right up in.
I'd love to help you right now, Doug.
It
Well,
worked.
yeah, we've been patching for, and even this chart was not.
Which is.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's not
complaining, but I
It's
just.
just not exist.
This'll be a good fix, I think.
I may think that's just, if anybody had any questions,
Well, what,
not so much about, but what it would solve.
well,
Actually, if it solve us having open meetings, that would be great.
Yeah.
It's help.
well, it's just wears on you when it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
It's stressful and
So Paul, we were talking just a few minutes ago.
Amen.
God speaks again.
Talking about potentially adding security camera to the front lobby. That's all that's in the works right now. Can that be done wireless with the new system we're looking at, or?
You know, it can, John, and actually I'm working on the same thing for my church, updating the streaming system. Yeah. Request came in about security cameras. Tying into the fire. And I really wouldn't regret, it can be done, but
Mhm.
recommend it to be tied into the same system,
Okay.
because there's so many options now available where they can stand on their own and
they're inexpensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay $10 a month for all.
We didn't know that we were exposed.
We've got a camera. So that should even work.
John, can you hear me?
I got
Right.
to warn Susan about that.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
We just don't want a bunch of wires.
Yes, and to answer your question, yes, the wireless is.
Yeah.
Available.
How
Well, do we
how
have?
long are you letting people go with?
Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you just fine.
That's generated.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
All right. We all here?
check on. And see every day. Stuff like that.
All right, it's 3:30. Let's, I'll call to order this special meeting of the Prospect Kentucky City Council. We have one significant item on the agenda, but we'll go through the, today's date is January 29, 2025. It's 3:30 p.m. Comments from citizens. Paul, I'm going to ask you to speak in a minute when we get to the item on the agenda. There are no other citizens present. So mayor's report, I really have nothing to report, but glad you all are here. Appreciate you coming in. So old business is a second reading of ordinance 647, series 2025, an ordinance amending the budget for the capital investment fund of the city of Prospect for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025. This ordinance amends the capital investment fund budget to include funding for a new audiovisual system for City Hall. Is there a motion to give a second reading to and to approve ordinance 647?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so Mr. Holmes made the motion and Mrs. Leonard seconded. Is there discussion? Paul, I'll ask you if you would maybe step up to the lectern and speak into the mic so the folks who aren't here can hear you. And I think you said you had a couple of comments.
Just a review of when we all sat down and talked about challenges that you've dealt with on the audio video system. So I just made some notes as far as what the new system will provide. And one of them is, even though.
Hold on, Paul, just a
Yes.
second. I forgot one of our members. Hey, John. How are you doing?
Good.
Christian and John, were you all able to hear Paul well
Yes.
enough when he was speaking?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I
great.
can hear.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice try.
So the first thing, when people talk about video conferencing, there are obviously protocols involved in that. But the most important protocol about a video conference is the audio, because your brain will fill that frame. If something freezes up and it goes to the next frame, your brain will fill that in. Audio, not so much. So one of the biggest things will be the capability of feedback suppression, and which means that if you start getting a loop within the system will automatically stop it, put a mark in it for the next time so it doesn't occur. That's with any system, if it's even just an audio system, is the most important thing. Feedback suppression is integrated into every court in Kentucky. Also integrated video conferencing, as opposed to having a laptop sitting out here, the system will have an integrated video conferencing, which John can still control, but it won't be sitting out in the middle of the room. A high-end camera, as opposed to the camera integrated within the laptop, the camera will give you flexibility to give a full council shot, an individual council shot, can zoom in on people, and the clarity will be much, much higher. That can be done by John remotely. Ron, I kept saying John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron. I know you're listening.
That'd be good for you to do.
An input for
Well,
laptop
obviously, you can't.
presentation. So if somebody comes in with a for instance, with what the city's doing with the new development over in the shopping center, there's going to be a lot of high resolution images that people are going to want to be able to see once it's presented. And this will give them that capability to bring a laptop and plug it up and talk about it. Audio support for the council bench with new speakers. Right now, you're only hearing the audio out of that system in the back, that monitor, which, as we spoke last time, feeds back into the microphones. So the audio will come out of a set of speakers up here. So it's pointing away from the audio input of your being able to see remote people or hear remote people talk. Obviously, the improved microphones. Right now, the wireless microphones, we talked a little bit about that before. Wireless microphones require new batteries every time. They're also very directional. So if I turn like this, it can't be heard as well. The new microphones will have that capability. Plus, Ron will have the capability of muting all mics, for instance, until video conferencing starts. So you be connected up to the video conference, but you can still mute all the microphones. And then when you call to order, you can unmute it. You have push to mute, and I always recommend push to mute because there's also what's called a latching feature. So if you hit that latching feature, it turns it off. Guess what they do in the courtrooms? People forget to turn it back on.
Forget to turn it back on. That's right.
So it's perceivingly a little bit more difficult to hold it down, but it does make sure that you're always on microphone. And just improve control for audiovisual. Again, Ron's going to have that capability to control so much more of the system than he has at this point. It's all on you, Ron.
We heard you, Ron.
Ron just jumped.
And again, just better remote control features for Ron. And going without saying, it's an expandable system. So as we spoke a little bit, if you want to have a additional meeting space upstairs, the system can be expanded to accommodate that. Whereas this system only has a specific number of microphone inputs and such. So it'll give you an expansion to, or the capability to expand if needed.
Is there discussion, the council, any questions or further discussion?
So Paul, is it your opinion that we can't make these necessary improvements by cobbling to the old system, and that we need a new system, and that the one you're recommending is reasonable and necessary to do these functions?
I agree with all of those.
Any other discussion or questions? We call that a leading question. That's what we call it.
I had a good teacher.
And Paul, thank you so much for your assistance in this.
Oh, you're welcome.
We were just saying it goes all the way back to August, maybe it was October, but it was the fall of 2023.
Yes.
So we,
I hadn't, with redoing the house and everything for me, it's just been a blitz. And
yeah.
so
well, we really appreciate it.
I'm not sure. I know that Ken's company, the ISSG,
Said
they
June at the earliest.
June.
I'm thinking 6 months. They'll order the equipment. I think that's 60 days, 45 to 60 days, but then they've got projects in front of us. So we're getting in line behind Atria and Metro. I think has got something else going on.
Typically, though, the install,
Yes.
3-4 days max. And again, that includes training and pulling new wire.
And then the support is there afterwards.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. Okay, are we ready to vote? So the question is on giving a second reading to ordinance 647, series 2025, and approving the ordinance. I'll call the roll. Sandra?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
John Evans?
Yes.
John Gibson?
Yes.
Christian?
Yes.
And John Clark.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
the ayes have it. By a vote of 6-0. David, would you read the ordinance?
Ordinance 647, series 2025, an ordinance amending the budget for the capital investment fund of the city of Prospect for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
Okay, and let's go ahead and read that last sentence too. I will. It's not part of the title, but it's this ordinance amends the capital investment fund budget to include funding for a new audiovisual system for City Hall. Okay, there's no other business to come before the council, is there a motion to adjourn?
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you all. Take care.
Thank you, Christian. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Had a really, really nice lunch with Sally yesterday.